I'm collecting photography for like 30 years. I started very young when I was a teenager. I used to go to flea markets. I was living in Paris, and for me to go to flea market was my main occupation during the weekend. And from time to time there was some lost pictures in cases that nobody cares. And I used to buy them for quite nothing. And I didn't know what to do with them. And I was always curious of that part of history, but which is anonymous and maybe not very important, but they are to me. I wanted to understand them, and also a part of who I was also a part of them. What I mean, I was not a cross-dresser, and I'm still not, but there was something about marginality, about to be different and to be secret, to be invisible, that I was very close to. The first pictures you can see in the exhibition are from the 19th century, from around, I would say, 1860 until 1980. It was a kind of underground society, but like a lot of cross-dressers, they love photography. They needed to produce pictures of themselves, but from the inside, I would say, a kind of inner picture of themselves, which were a very secret image. And some of these pictures that you can see in the show are exactly this kind of pictures, very intimate, very secret, of a kind of inner image of one person. Well, I met Bambi 10 years ago. She was born in Algeria in 1935 in a very little village. And she grew up like a little girl until she was 6. She deeply in herself, she thought that she was a little girl. There was a French cabaret who made a tour in Algeria. So she went and see the troupe. And then for her, it was obvious that she had to go to Paris and to join the troupe. And then she began her transformation as a young woman, and she was one of the first transsexual women to have an operation and to live openly as a cross-dresser and then as a transsexual. So at the age of 30, she has decided to go back at school and to study and to get her diploma and then to become a French teacher. And this is exactly what she did. And at the age of 36, she became a French teacher in a college in the suburb of Cherbourg. Most of the person that Bambi knew at that time that were with her in the cabaret, they keep on in this underground world. To do what she did was quite something. Each picture for me is a story in itself. There is a kind of script behind them every time. So it's very difficult to say, oh, this is a cross-dresser, or maybe it's more than that. But the thing is, with the word cross-dresser, that was the word used for so many times. Of course, now I understand that the society has changed and the world maybe is not appropriate for all of these pictures. But this is what I think is interesting, that each visitor could make their own story with each picture, you know, and to feel probably that for some of them it's more about, it's not only a question of cross-dressing, it's probably a question of identity, of transsexuality, and Sometimes it could be just a game. You know, the spectrum is very large.